Hi there. We're going to play with watercolor pencils, watercolor paper, and make some backgrounds that I will cut out a circle from. I've practiced a wee bit, and in the description will be a link to an actual artist who was demonstrating some watercolor pencils, and this is where I got my ideas from. I am not doing it the way she did it completely because I am not an actual artist, and everything I do is a bit of an experiment, but that's okay because we're junk journalers and things don't have to be perfect. They are about personality, not perfection. Now, I have decided I'm going to be using things that are in my craft room. These I have owned for more than 25 years. And the reason I know it is because I bought them when our children were homeschooling before we left Canada. So that's more than 25 years ago. Age may not matter, or it might. I don't know. I don't think it does with these. They're watercolor pencils. They're Karat Aquarelle. I don't even know if they make them or they've changed the packaging. I can imagine in 25 years. But it's Stedler and made in Germany. That's as much as I know. And I'm using 3 colors, which happen to be my favorite colors. And I'm going to be making backgrounds like these that I can punch out and use in a journal that I'm making. Yeah. So I'm using 2 kinds of brushes, and I'm using a craft knife, and I'm following, as much as I know how, the directions by this artist that demonstrated some watercolor crayons, pencil crayons. I have some water here, and we're going to start with the first one, which uses the craft knife. I don't know whether you know, but watercolor pencils, they're more than pencil crayons. They have very distinct pigment in them, and you can use them like watercolors. Now, she has 15 techniques, and eventually I will do all 15, but this time I'm doing the one that I remember the most, which included the craft knife. And it's literally wetting the watercolor paper and then scraping shavings off. Whoop. Hopefully it doesn't break, but you get the idea. I have my pencil crayon sharpener, which I will use. But do you see how the pigment, and again, my watercolor paper is bending, the pigment from the watercolor pencil crayons is starting to spread. I could have added more water, but I really don't want it to swim in the water. I want it to just, sorry for the shadow. Oh, and we lost that end. Okay, this one we are going to. And she gave a tip for this particular technique, and that was to save the shavings and separate the wood from the pigment, and then you can use it for this technique, which I may try because, hey, why not? It goes quick. So as the paper dries, the shavings will just sit there on the top, I think. You can see over here, there was more water on the page so that it spread. And maybe newer watercolor crayons will work differently. I don't know. Because these are the ones that I have, and I'm using what I have. And the wood is a little, I don't know. And maybe it's my pencil crayon sharpener. It is not expensive. I have just blown the pigment shavings onto my white table. I don't know if you can see that. So don't blow. All right, next. You can see how these have spread, and it could be because I had more water on there. I don't know. Let's do this cross-hatching concept. Okay, what I did was I used the pencil and I went like this. And again, I'm going to link to this artist's video on YouTube. I'm trying to make like a tartan concept colors because the digitals that I'm going to be putting on top of this background have that feeling. Gingham? Yeah, I've been into gingham these days. Can I show you what I've been doing? This will be another video, but this is called chicken scratch embroidery. Do you see the white? See my back? And one of my goals in 2026 was to do some embroidery. So that's one kind. Now, we're going to take a little bit of water. Oh, now I can't remember what I did. No, I think I sprayed water on here. Let's spray some water on and see what happens. The pigment that is on there should dissolve somewhat. You'll never get rid of the actual lines, but it's going to start running, and I think I've already put too much water on. Oh well. Yeah. So I have this old rag. I'm going to sop it up. She didn't show this. Oh, what did she do? I know what she did. She took her brush and she just held it in there so the brush could lift off some of the pigment. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Oops, instead of my rag. So if you've ever been interested in watercolor pencil crayons, watercolor pencils, maybe that's what they're called, I recommend trying it. It is a lovely experience. The next thing that I want to try, because, you know, I've been doing other videos about circles. Guess what a circle is? A circle is also a spiral. Let's do a spiral. Let's see. Nope, it doesn't. 124. Does that, yeah, oh, no, they're all 120. Oh, 30 and 3. So maybe that has a color? Name to go with it? Anybody have these watercolor pencils? It looks like they're moving. Let's spritz those shavings. The spritzing makes them move too. So wetting the shavings causes them to spread. Now here, so this is the grid that I colored. Let's put less water. And I think it's the time I didn't put less water. There's more. There's a pool there again. I think it's the time the water spends on the watercolor paper and it absorbs that really makes a difference. This time I'm going to do the colors over top of each other and see what happens. So this is going to be the lightest pressure. This is going to be slightly heavier pressure. And this is going to be the heaviest. And the more time, so more pigment down. Okay, but I'm going to use the flash brush. And I'm going to get rid of some of the water before I brush in one direction. Do you like painting? You know, since junk journaling I began, I'm less scared. Scared is the right word? I don't think it's the right word, but I'm less hesitant, there we go, to just experiment. It's almost like revisiting your child spirits. Spirit is the wrong word. What is it? Attitude? Just try it. There's no harm. It doesn't have to have a perfection to it. I mean, this is not going to be a watercolor painting, but what it can be is an addition to a junk journal project. And only you and I know how it started. And when I cut out the circles, just wait. You're going to love it. Or at least maybe you'll like it. And you'll see that the fun of painting, the ease of using a watercolor pencil, yeah, it's worth the time. It's worth the effort. Okay, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to make a few circles, and you're going to see the end result. In the meantime, I wish you happy crafting. I want to encourage you to make something. Yeah, make something. You can do it. It's not hard. Hey, if I can put color down on a piece of paper and spritz some water on top and run a paintbrush over it, so can you. Have a happy day. I wish you well. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye for now. We'll see you on Friday. I make videos twice a week, once on Tuesdays, once on Fridays, and coming up Friday, well, yeah, something else. I have something else in mind. Bye for now. Watch for the photos that show what I made from this experiment. I'm Lori at Positive Thanks Living. See you again. Hi, these are the finished products, the different circles that I punched out. And I added fussy cuts, I added vellum, but you know what? It ended up that I really liked adding washi stickers, because often a sticker is good for a lot of things, but it looks empty if you just put it on a white page, and it doesn't show up if you put it on a pattern page. But these backgrounds that we made, yeah, they look really good. I inked around the edge of each of the circles so that they have an outline, and I'll probably make them charms or, well, do all kinds of different things, including embroider on that fabric you see to the left. But I hope you enjoyed this. Bye for now.